Before the sun clears the eastern hills, the ground falls silently away, and the whole of an ancient world opens beneath us. Below spreads a landscape the old Egyptians believed was the very edge of the living world, the place where the sun died each evening and the dead were laid to rest. Golden desert, green fields, and buried tombs turn slowly under the dawn light as we float above them. From up here, 4,000 years lie open to the eye. Welcome to a sunrise over the Valley of the Kings. We are floating above the west bank of the Nile at Luxor, in southern Egypt, the ground that once cradled the great city of Thebes. Across the river to the east lies the modern town and the temples of the living. But it is the western shore that unfolds below us now, a narrow ribbon of green farmland pressed against a vast tan desert. For thousands of years, this was one of the most sacred places on earth, the burial ground of pharaohs and the mortuary heartland of ancient Egypt. To the ancient Egyptians, the West Bank was the land of the dead. Here the sun sank each night into the desert, and so here, in the dry hills where the light failed, they built their tombs and their temples of eternity. Below us, the cultivated green stops abruptly, and the barren cliffs begin, and somewhere in that folded stone lie the kings of Egypt. As we drift above it in the growing light, the whole valley feels like a threshold between two worlds, the fertile realm of the living and the silent kingdom of the dead. Only minutes ago we stood in the dark of the fields, waiting while the burners roared and the great envelope filled and swelled above us. Then the earth loosened its hold, and now we hang weightless in the cool morning air, rising higher with every breath of flame. The farmland shrinks below, the palm trees turn to green dots, and the ancient hills swing slowly into view. There is no rushing wind, no sound but the burner, only the land itself sinking away as we float steadily upward into the dawn. Then it comes. Far to the east, beyond the river and the city, the sun lifts over the rim of the desert and floods the valley with light. The pale sky warms to rose and gold, and long shadows reach westward across the fields toward the hills of the dead. This is the moment the ancient Egyptians revered above all others, the daily rebirth of the sun, and we watch it unfold from the air just as it has unfolded over Thebes for uncounted mornings. The whole landscape below us catches fire with the new day. From up here, the great division of Egypt lies plain beneath us. On one side, the Nile floodplain glows a deep, watered green, laid out in fields and canals and clusters of palm. On the other, without transition, the desert begins, bare and gold and lifeless, climbing away into the western hills. The line between them is astonishingly sharp, drawn by the reach of the river's water. For thousands of years, all life here clung to that green ribbon, and the desert beyond it belonged to the dead. Now the balloon carries us over the desert hills themselves, and hidden in their folds lies the Valley of the Kings. It seems an empty place from above, a maze of pale ravines and rubble slopes with no grand monuments to mark it. Yet beneath that broken ground lie the tombs of the greatest pharaohs of the New Kingdom, cut deep into the rock, and once filled with unimaginable treasure. Below us, out of sight in the silent stone, sleep the kings who ruled an empire, laid to rest far from robbers and the light of day. Rising above the valley stands a single pyramid-shaped mountain, its summit sharp against the brightening sky. This is Al-qurn, the natural peak that crowns the western hills. Its pyramid form was surely no accident to the ancient mind, echoing the great tombs of earlier ages and watching over the buried kings below. As we float past it in the low sun, its slopes glow warm on one side and fall into deep shadow on the other. Beneath its gaze, the whole necropolis lies gathered, guarded by a mountain shaped like a tomb. As the balloon drifts on, a startling shape resolves at the foot of the cliffs. Rising in broad terraces straight out of the rock stands the great mortuary Temple of Hatshepsut at Deir el-Bahari, one of the most striking monuments in all of Egypt. Long colonnaded levels climb toward the sheer wall of the mountain behind them, a work of stark and modern-looking beauty. It was raised for one of the few women ever to rule Egypt as pharaoh. From above we see its clean lines, set perfectly against the towering natural amphitheater of stone. Out on the flatter ground where the fields meet the desert, another set of ruins comes into view. This is the Ramesseum, the mortuary temple of Ramesses the Great, once among the grandest in Thebes. Rows of columns and fallen walls trace the outline of its vanished glory, and among them lie the shattered pieces of a colossal statue that once portrayed the king enthroned. Time has toppled much of it, yet from the air the great plan is still legible below us, a monument raised by a pharaoh who wished to be remembered forever. Further south, the balloon carries us over Medinet Habu, the vast walled temple of Ramesses III. It is one of the best preserved of all the mortuary temples, its massive gateways and towering pylons still standing strong against the centuries. From above, we trace its high enclosure walls, its courtyards, and the deep-cut reliefs that once blazed with color. It was built as a fortress of the gods and of the king's eternal memory, and below us it still holds its ground, solid and defiant in the morning light. Out on the open plain, where the temples give way to fields, two colossal figures sit alone facing the rising sun. These are the Colossi of Memnon, a pair of enormous seated statues of the pharaoh Amenhotep III, all that survives of a mortuary temple that has otherwise vanished entirely. For thousands of years, they have kept their silent watch over the plain, weathered and battered, yet still immense. Ancient travelers came from far away to marvel at them, and from the air we see them still enthroned below us, guarding a temple that time erased. The balloon turns and the great river swings into view, winding silver through the green in the low morning light. The Nile is the axis of everything here. On this western side lie the tombs and mortuary temples, the domain of the setting sun and the dead. On the far bank rise Luxor and Karnak, the temples of the living, aligned with the sunrise. Between them flows the water that made this whole civilization possible. From up here we see the ancient logic of it laid bare, the living and the dead divided by a single shining river. We are not alone in the sky this morning. All around us, catching the new sun on their curved flanks, drift dozens of other balloons, rising and falling slowly over the fields and hills. They hang in the still air like great bright lanterns, scattered across the dawn above ancient Thebes. Ballooning over Luxor at sunrise is one of the classic experiences in Egypt, and from where we float, the whole gentle fleet seems to share the same quiet wonder, suspended together above a landscape older than memory. As the sun climbs higher, the full sweep of ancient Thebes lies open beneath us. Green fields and silver water, golden desert and hidden tombs, temples rising from the plain and the sacred peak standing guard over them all. Kingdoms rose and fell along this river, and still the land keeps the shape they gave it. To float above it in the first light of day is to see, all at once, the whole vast stage on which one of the greatest of human civilizations lived and buried its dead. Below us, the timeless West Bank turns slowly in the dawn. And so the flame quiets and the ground rises softly to meet us, and the great valley of the dead settles back into the ordinary light of morning. For a little while we drifted above 4,000 years of history, above kings and temples and the sharp, bright line where the living land ends. Now the fields come up green and close, and the flight is over, but the view stays with us, vast and silent and impossibly old. Thank you for watching. Follow for more interesting people, places, and things we cover on the channel.